Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that is shaking up the global oil market, the massive Dangote Petroleum Refinery in Nigeria. It's not just a big building, it's a strategic powerhouse that's completely changing the game for Africa and the world. Stick around, because you're about to find out how this one refinery is rewriting the rules of energy trade. So, let's start with the big news. Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest person, has built this gigantic refinery, and it's finally starting to flex its muscles. Recently, it received its second ever shipment of crude oil from neighboring Ghana. This might sound like a small detail, but it's actually a huge signal. The shipment contained a type of crude called Sankofa grade, and it highlights a major strategic shift for the refinery. What is this shift, you ask? Well, the Dangote Refinery is deliberately reducing its reliance on oil from faraway places like Europe and is instead looking closer to home. It's focusing on sourcing crude oil from right here in West Africa, especially from its home country, Nigeria. This isn't just about being a good neighbor, it's a smart business move. Think about it. Why would you ship oil all the way from the North Sea or the Mediterranean when you have abundant, high-quality crude oil right on your doorstep? It's more efficient, it's cheaper, and it strengthens regional economies. This move shows that the refinery is maturing, stabilizing its operations, and figuring out the most effective way to run its massive machinery. Industry experts and data trackers have been watching this closely. According to reports from firms like Petroleum, which monitors commodity flows, the refinery's crude oil rivals have seen some fluctuations. Between September and November, it was taking in about 380,000 barrels per day. Now, that's a mind-boggling amount of oil, but it is actually about 30% lower than the volumes it was processing back in the peak months of July and August. So, why the drop? It's not because of a lack of demand. It's all about maintenance and optimization. A facility of this scale is incredibly complex. It's like a finely tuned engine, and sometimes, you need to take parts of it offline for tune-ups and upgrades to ensure it runs smoothly. In the long run, the refinery is preparing for some major scheduled maintenance. For example, a key component called the Residue Fluid Catalytic Cracking Unit, or RFCC, is scheduled for a shutdown. This unit is vital for converting heavy, lower-value parts of crude oil into more valuable products like gasoline. Additionally, the main crude distillation unit, which is the very first step in the refining process, is also planned for a brief outage. These shutdowns are normal for any refinery, especially a new one. It's all part of the process of getting everything perfectly calibrated to operate at its full, massive capacity. The refinery has a nameplate capacity of 650,000 barrels per day, and these planned works are crucial for reaching and sustaining that level of production reliably. As the refinery temporarily reduces its intake for this maintenance, it's making very specific choices about where its oil comes from. Purchases from Europe have dropped significantly. This has created a perfect opportunity for West African and Nigerian oil producers to step in and fill the gap. In fact, if you look at the crude oil receipts for November, they were almost entirely made up of Nigerian grades. We're talking about famous names in the oil world like Bonny Light, Aminum, Forcados, and Kwa Ibo. These are all high-quality, light, sweet crudes that are ideal for producing premium fuels. And of course, nestled among these Nigerian giants was that one cargo from Ghana, the Sankofa grade. This is what experts are pointing to as the new normal. The future for the Dangote refinery seems to be a slate dominated by domestic Nigerian crude supplemented by strategic purchases from other West African producers like Ghana, and maybe even some from the United States, which also produces similar light sweet crude. This strategy has a ripple effect that extends far beyond the refinery's gates. For decades, Nigeria, despite being one of Africa's largest oil producers, had to export its own crude oil and then import refined petroleum products like gasoline and diesel at a much higher cost. It was an inefficient and expensive cycle. The Dangote refinery is built to break that cycle. By refining its own oil, Nigeria can achieve energy independence, save billions of dollars in foreign exchange, and even become a major exporter of refined fuels to other African countries. This creates a powerful regional energy hub. Instead of African nations sending their crude to Europe or Asia for refining, they can now send it to a world-class facility right in their own neighborhood. This fosters intra-African trade, creates jobs, and keeps more of the value from the continent's natural resources right here on the continent. Let's talk a bit more about the bigger picture. The global oil market is notoriously volatile. We've all seen how prices at the pump can swing wildly based on geopolitical events or supply chain disruptions happening halfway across the world. An interesting forecast came out recently suggesting that oil prices might fall below $60 a barrel by 2026. Now, whether that happens or not remains to be seen, but it highlights the uncertainty in the market. For a massive operation like the Dangote Refinery, having a stable, reliable, and cost-effective source of crude is paramount. By focusing on regional supplies, the refinery insulates itself, to some degree, from that global volatility. Shipping costs are lower, delivery times are shorter, and geopolitical risks associated with long-distance sea routes are minimized. It's a strategy built for resilience and long-term stability. The impact on the European market is also significant. For a long time, European refineries were a primary destination for West African crude. Now, with Dangote absorbing a huge portion of that supply, European refiners have to look elsewhere. This redraws the energy map, shifting trade flows and forcing established players to adapt. The Dangote Refinery isn't just serving a local market, it's actively reshaping global supply chains. Think about the sheer scale of this project. It's not just a refinery, it's an entire industrial complex. It includes a fertilizer plant, which is crucial for boosting agricultural productivity in Nigeria and across Africa. It also has its own deep water port, making logistics incredibly efficient. This integrated approach is what makes the project so revolutionary. It's about creating value at every step of the chain, from the moment the crude oil arrives to the final products leaving the gates. As the refinery completes its maintenance and ramps up to full capacity, its influence will only grow. We can expect it to become the primary buyer of Nigerian crude. This will provide a steady, guaranteed market for the country's oil producers. Furthermore, as it starts exporting large quantities of gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel, it will put downward pressure on prices in neighboring countries, making energy more affordable for millions of people. The story of the Dangote Refinery is a story of ambition, strategic planning, and African self-sufficiency. The recent focus on sourcing crude from Ghana and other regional partners is a clear indicator of its long-term strategy. It's about building a sustainable, efficient, and powerful energy hub that will fuel economic growth across the continent for decades to come. This is a developing story, and we'll be keeping a close eye on how the refinery continues to evolve and impact the global energy landscape. It's one of the most exciting industrial projects happening anywhere in the world right now, and its success will have profound implications for Nigeria, for Africa, and for the entire oil and gas industry. That's all for today's deep dive. What do you think about this strategic shift by the Dangote Refinery? Do you think it will succeed in making West Africa a dominant force in the global energy market? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love reading your perspectives. And if you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.